Those are like solar farms. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
That's good.
Nothing from Scott so.
Okay, I'll call the meeting of McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The reason for our hearing today is petition 2024-034. The address is 15909 West South Street, Woodstock. The applicant is Fitzgerald Woodstock Enterprises 3 LLC, Patrick J. Fitzgerald Trust, and Maureen T. Fitzgerald Trust. The request is for a change from the A1 Agricultural District to the A2 Agricultural District. And this is part of two PIN numbers. The first is 12-14-100-003 and 12-14-100-011. This is a 6.8 acre tract at the southeast intersection of South Street and Franklinville Road in Seneca Township. At this time, I would have members of the zoning board introduce themselves and the township in which they reside, starting on my right, Ms. Donner.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Road, Greenwood District.
Township. Oh, God.
Too much.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Vicki Gardner, Nunda Township. And Linnea Kustra in Alden Township.
Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Jessica Beverly, Dorr Township.
Bill Curdy, Grafton Township.
This petition has been reviewed and the following items have been received prior to today's scheduled hearing. The publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper is dated August 21, 2024, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The affidavit of posting was signed and the date posted was August 21, 2024. The affidavit of mailing was signed and the date mailed was August 19, 2024, both meeting ordinance requirements. The survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all three match. Filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition, and the McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received. This is NRI number L24-051-4647. For anyone who will be speaking today, giving any kind of testimony, I would swear you in at this time if you would raise your hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. So we'll just turn it over to the petitioner. Please introduce yourself and.
Okay, thank you. My name is Steve Kuda of the law firm of Hamer, Shue, and Kuda, Woodstock, Illinois. I'm here this afternoon representing members of the family members of the Patrick Fitzgerald, Maureen Fitzgerald Trust, and also members and managers of the Fitzgerald Woodstock Enterprises 3 LLC. Immediately to my right is Diane Savage. She's a member of the LLC and manager and also a trustee of the trusts. And then to my left is Cindy Moore, also one of the daughters of Patrick and Maureen Fitzgerald, and she's also one of the trustees of the trust and a member of the LLC. For the most part, I'm going to be relying on the testimony of Diane this afternoon, but if you have any questions, you can direct them to either Diane or Cindy. Both have grown up on the property, lived there for many, many years, and can probably answer any questions you may have. So with that, I'll start by asking questions of Diane. Diane, could you please state your full name?
Diane Savage,
And where do you currently reside?
3712 North Broadway in Chicago.
Could you tell us what your relationship is to Patrick Fitzgerald and Maureen Fitzgerald?
First daughter, also member of the LLCs that were formed and trust beneficiary.
And you mentioned to me that your dad passed away, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And your mom is still alive?
Yes, she is.
Where does your mom reside?
In this home,
Is that considered the Fitzgerald family home?
yes.
Can you tell us about how long it's been in the family?
Let's see, probably since 1972.
Okay, so 50 some years,
Yeah.
correct? And could you describe the location of the property?
It is on the four-way stop of Hobie, Franklinville, South Street, and Collins Road.
Okay, and there's an aerial photo that's on the screens that accurately reflects the property which you're requesting to be rezoned to A2.
Correct.
The property consists of, at least what's outlined in yellow, a single-family residence and some farmhouse buildings.
That's correct.
Could you describe those in a little bit further detail?
My mom still resides in the home, and there are 3 barns located on the property as well.
Farm buildings?
Farm buildings, yeah, the store equipment.
And the property that's part of this Fitzgerald family, it's the homestead at the corner of Franklinville and South Street, and then a number of acres of farmland directly to the south, is that correct?
That's correct.
The parcel that you're asking to rezone is approximately 6.8 acres, and it really consists of the house, buildings, and the yard for the home.
That's correct, yeah.
Almost all the farmland that your family owns is outside of the land that you're
That's correct,
requesting to
yeah.
be rezoned.
That's right.
Could you tell us just in your words, the reason for the rezoning request?
Our mom is in hospice at this time and living in the home. And we also have some farm acres, or my family does, located surrounding that. And our goal is to be able to retain the farm acres and the family farm, but have the ability to sell the home independently if we desire after my mom's passing.
There's it really doesn't show up on the aerial photo, but you can see a curved area directly or a little bit to the southeast of the actual corner of Franklinville and South Street. Can you explain what that is?
When we were growing up there, that was there was not the 4-way stop with the stop signs. That was just sort of like just a turn. I don't even remember if there was any kind of stop sign, I think, because there wasn't the traffic there at that time.
Okay, was there ever a roadway in that curved area?
It was a road.
Okay, but it's not there now.
No,
correct?
and hasn't been for.
Okay, but it's
I don't remember when that changed, but
okay,
a
but
long time ago.
as far as you know, that's still right away. That's been
That's on our property.
Controlled by the county,
Yes, it's sort of part of our yard.
but it's used as your yard.
Yes.
now. I'm going to ask you a few questions regarding the standards for a A2 zoning. You feel that this A2 parcel, which is really a homestead, that use is consistent with other existing uses in the area?
Yeah, definitely. All surrounding them. There's homesteads like that with adjacent farmland that are independent.
Can you think of any reason why property values would decrease or be diminished if the zoning were granted?
No, I can't.
Can you think of any reason why the public health, safety, and welfare of your neighbors would be harmed if the zoning were approved?
No, I can't.
You consider having to retain that house as somewhat of a hardship if your mom were to no longer be able to live there?
Yeah, I would feel that we'd be restricted to have to sell. If we wanted to sell the house, that we'd have to keep it with the farmland adjacent to it. I think it would diminish the buyers that would be
And
interested in it.
it's the intention of your family to not only retain that farmland, but preserve that land as actual farm land.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
And you mentioned that your family lived there since 1972, so that house and the farmland, that configuration's been in existence for at least 50
That's right,
years.
yes.
I don't have any other questions for Diane.
Can you tell me what then the Plat Act exception is, number 1, I'm assuming?
Well, so when we first came in, our proposal was for, it didn't show that little triangle parcel by, at the corner of Franklinville and South Street. The right-of-way, we've looked at the right-of-way grant, and it doesn't indicate that the property was actually transferred to the county. The right-of-way grant gave the county the right to use that land for a highway. So our initial petition showed, an initial plat that we had showed one 6.5, 7 acre parcel, which falls within that first exception, a division of 5 acres or more. The county came back to us and said, look, we don't like to rezone right-of-way. We don't want to put a zoning classification on a right-of-way land. So can you have your survey be redrawn and take out the right-of-way property from the zoning request? As a result, we've got that little corner parcel, which really can't be used for anything because of its location and the fact that it's so small, but it's there and it's still owned by the land. So we think that even though it's, it shows on for zoning, two separate, a little parcel of 0.4 acres and then the other parcel of 6.4 acres, that we really do fall within that exception number 1. And if we sell the property, not if I sell it, but my client sell the property, the legal description is going to be for that full, it's about 7 acres, because the actual ownership, if you go back and look at the title, the ownership of that right-of-way land is with the Fitzgerald family. So we feel we fall within that number 1. I think definitely number 3, the land, that configuration, that land has been in the family since 1972, so we would fall within the number 3 exception also.
We'll start with questions on my left. Mr. Kernick.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. My understanding is you don't have any current plans to alter, to remove any of the structures that are currently on it or add to the structures?
No, we do not.
That's all I have.
I have no questions.
Do you have any questions?
Just to clarify, the other one, are no change of use as the property is presently used?
No change of use.
Thank you, that's my only question.
Ms. Gardner.
I want to go back to that little curved section again. When you sell it, will that likely be a problem?
That little you wouldn't even know.
I know that, when you're there, it's way different looking at it on paper,
Yeah.
on a map with zoning codes and everything. But I'm wondering if that'll be some sort of hang up when you go to sell the property.
If I can, so when it gets sold, there would be a title commitment issued, and title commitments always have an exception for existing roadways, existing right-of-ways, so that that's going to show up on a title commitment, so a buyer would be aware of it. And I think a buyer hopefully would do some type of due diligence and would take a look at the county maps, and it's obvious if you look at the maps that there is a right-of-way there.
Yeah. And there's really no way to undo that.
No. It's a busy corner now.
Yeah, it's
you can petition
it's easier
the
to do
county,
than to
but
undo. I understand that.
I've never seen the county give up a right-of-way.
Okay. And apparently they don't want to rezone it either, right? Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Schnabel.
I do not have any questions, thank you.
Ms. Donnelly.
I don't think I have any questions either.
Does staff have any questions?
No questions at this time.
My questions have been answered. So at this time, we'll go to testimony by staff.
Okay,
Ms. Kurtzman.
so for the record, my name is Anna Kurtzman. I am the senior planner here for McHenry County. The subject property is, as you can see from our map here, entirely surrounded by A1 agricultural zoning. There are a few scattered A2s within a quarter mile. Oops, I always do that. The existing surrounding land uses, again, is predominantly agricultural. There is a area there where single-family housing is occurring in the area. There are 2 other land uses noted on the map within a quarter mile. There's a little tiny corner where there is a existing cemetery. I believe that's a family-owned plot that's there. And then in the east corner of our map here, you'll see the brown, that is an existing active gravel pit that's excavating there. Future land use is showing the area as developing or continuing to be used for agricultural purposes. The proposal is consistent with the future land use designation. Staff has no problems with the request to rezone to A2.
Does anyone on the board have any questions for Ms. Gertzman? Okay, then we have no public, so we'll take a closing statement if you'd like.
I really don't have anything more to add, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, at this time, then we'll close the hearing portion of the meeting and we'll move to the voting portion of the meeting. Again, this is application 2024-034. The request is for an A1 to an A2 agricultural district, 6.8 acre tract on the southeast intersection of South Street and Franklinville Road in Seneca Township. This time, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, so moved that the request be granted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Mr. Kernick and seconded by Ms. Gartner to approve this request. Discussion, Mr. Kernick.
I have none.
Okay, we'll move down to Ms. Gartner.
I see this as a very standard A1 to A2, despite that little missing section in the corner. I think all the standards have been met. I think this is a kind of a slam dunk. There's no reason not to approve this on our end, so I'm definitely in approval. I'd also like to say I'm very sorry to hear about your dad and the state that your mom is in.
Mr. Cozen.
I too concur that this is a appropriate transfer, map amendment of A1 to A2, that there has been an equitable balance from the public record as it has been submitted. Additional test for this is that the property is a single property, notwithstanding our intricacies of discussing what the county may have or may not have done as far back as 1940. The property is not subject to any other use than what has been stated to before us. And in terms of the Plat Act, while I don't wish to take further time of my colleagues, I too support the number 1 exemption in that regard. But for all that said, I too will be supporting this petition.
Mr. Schnabel.
I agree with everyone's comments so far.
Ms. Beverly.
I also agree with everyone's comments and find that it meets the requirements of the Plat Act.
Ms. Donner.
I think this is a very smart move for you to get this part taken care of now instead of when you finally decide to sell any part of this. So I'm in approval.
And I'm in favor. This parcel has been in the family for over 50 years. This is an effort to split off the family home and yard apart from farmland that then the family will be able to preserve. It meets the intent of our A2 agricultural district in our zoning ordinance. It meets the standards in the zoning ordinance. It meets the land use plan. So for all those reasons, I'm in favor of the request as well. So I'll call for the vote. Ms. Gartner.
Yes.
Mr. Cozen.
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel.
Yes.
Ms. Beverly.
Yes.
Ms. Donner.
Yes.
Mr. Kernick.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So this will go to the county board with a 7-0 vote approving. This time, hearing is closed.
Thanks.